Hi, everybody. Welcome to Grab Your Keys. I'm SueMeitner, and I have a wonderful guest on today. Tammie Gravlee has been amazing in the mortgage industry. She is the SVP Director of Mortgage Operations for FirstBank, and she was the past president of the Nashville Mortgage Bankers Association. And I was super excited and honored to be on a panel with Tammie a month ago at the Mortgage Collaborative. We met and connected, and I said, can you be on Grab Your Keys? And luckily she said yes. So we're going to get some great insight from Tammie today, and I'm super excited that you're with us. Thank you so much, Tammie.
Thank you for having me. It's an honor.
So how did you get into the mortgage business, if you don't mind telling everyone?
I don't mind, but it's not a super exciting story. I fell into it by accident, like most mortgage experts.
Right?
I am not a finance degree individual. I went to school to be fashion merchandising, and that's what my degree is in. Unfortunately, or fortunately, however you look at it, I'm going to say fortunately, met my husband as I was moving off to Atlanta, and love can do some strange things to you. And he was not moving because he was settled, had self-employed businesses. So he was stuck, and I was madly in love, and I wasn't going anywhere against my dad's better wishes. um, so I decided not to move at the last minute. I was within about 6 weeks of moving, and ultimately, I just started looking for jobs. I didn't have really any experience at all because I had interned in retail and was really just focused on doing absolutely nothing but fashion merchandising. And as it turned out, I took a job as a receptionist at a independent mortgage banking company. And I started from the ground up. I started answering the telephones. I had no idea who Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac was. As a matter of fact, I finally went to my boss and said, who are these people? Because they are so mean. They will not let you do anything. Because all you heard was, well, Fannie Mae won't let you do that, or Freddie Mac won't let you do that. So I was like, who the heck is that? They don't teach that in high school. I wish that would change because we could definitely probably get more people interested. But that's how I fell into it. I started as a receptionist, worked my way into processing, went to underwriting, and then went to office manager, then to originating for 12 years, and the rest is kind of history. And here I am.
Yeah, so that's funny. Our paths are very parallel. I got into the mortgage industry right out of college, was a post closer, but I was following the retail path. I was working as a manager of the Gap for years through college and then after college. And then I worked from post closing to processing to underwriting to sales manager, like right through that. So I think that is how everyone is introduced into the mortgage world. And it's good. It's good because you learn from the ground up, and you really do have great instincts or really you listen to your gut a lot because you
Right.
have that background. And you know when a file is going to work or not going to work because Fannie and Freddie or Ginny say so.
Yeah, that's how the main people said so. You're
Right.
right. Yeah, I think that's the best way, to be honest with you, to get into the business. I can't imagine coming in and being just an originator. And when I say just an originator, I don't mean that to demoralize it. What I mean is I don't know how I could have ever been successful as an originator, not understanding the why and the kind of the guts of the business. It definitely allowed me to be a better originator. So when I went into sales management, that was one of the things that all the originators hated about me was I made them go and sit with a processor and an underwriter and a closer and a shipper, and they hated me while it was going on. However, surprisingly, years later, I would get phone calls or notes, or just a little email that said, thank you so much, because that really, really helped me. And so I attribute a lot of being able to be a good originator in the past, and understanding both sides to be able to balance, because it has to be a good balance in this business. You can't be one or the other and be completely successful. I think you have to have a really good balance to be able to move forward and do the things you need to do, because there are basically two sides to the whole process. the detailed side and then the sales side, just like in any organization.
Right. And you actually hit that before I could even ask you, because I think that seesawing between director of mortgage operations and sales allows you to know both, and allows you to congruently work together, because you have to
Absolutely.
work together as a team. And knowing sales, I mean, that's what makes the world go round. We have to close loans, we have to sell loans for the operations to be there, and we all have to work together so that it all gets done. And I love that you have that experience. And sometimes you're right, people in sales hate it. I have that experience, and I love having the loan officers understand where operations is coming from, and on the other side, have operations understand that it's not always it's not always great to be on the front lines.
Right.
The great originators make it look super ridiculously easy, and it's not super ridiculously easy. They're just fabulous at what they do.
Yeah, you're absolutely correct. It is definitely a good balance. And it's hard to get to that good balance, because most minds are either going to go sales or they're going to go operations. It's either detail or very little detail, and they don't always collide very well.
No, I totally agree. So what do you feel your 3 keys to success are? If you had to pick 3 keys to success, what would they be?
So I would say the first, which I don't want to blow anybody's mind, but a lot of it is my faith. You know,
Right.
I,
No,
I literally am a true believer. I'm where I'm at, not because I was great and wonderful at anything that I did. I had great mentors. I had great managers. I had a group of supporters that was wonderful. But I will say I spent a lot of time in prayer over what do I do next? How do I do it next? And so that would be my first and foremost, is to say my faith just keeps me going and helps me do the right things at the right time, hopefully. And secondly, I would say I have had a lot of really, really, really good people who surrounded me. I was very fortunate early in my career that I had people that did not, there's an old cliche, and I'm trying to remember what it is, but a lot of people hold information to their chest because they feel like they have no job security if somebody else learns it. I was very fortunate that God placed me in situations to where those people were always willing to share everything they knew. And I feel like that there's always a right and wrong way to do everything. And unfortunately, even in the mortgage business, we have people who do it the right way and people who do it the wrong way, or maybe not, I guess in our world, I'd say compliant way. Maybe that's the best thing to say. And I feel like that those people that I was with taught me the right way. It's, here's the wrong way, here's the right way. And you're going to have a lot of times where it's going to get into the gray on both sides. But always remember, customer is first. And you have to lay your head down at night to make sure that you've taken care of the customer. And if I had been with the wrong set of people who never really taught me that, I would have never grasped that, nor could I share that with people that I manage today or that I mentor today.
Right.
So I would say the people that surrounded me would be my second. Third, I'm going to say there's probably been a lot of just luck as well. I've been in the right place at the right time. And and maybe that goes back to my number one, my my trust and my belief in God has always, put me in the right place at the right time. And I've always realized I have never arrived. I've been doing this now, and I hate to even say how long, because somebody's going to see me at a conference and they'll go like, wow, 38 years. But I've been doing this almost 38 years, and I learn something new every day. Every day.
That is one of the things I love about this business is you do learn something new every day, and you get to touch and connect with people every single day. And I think that's one of the fabulous things about this mortgage business is that you create your own luck. But I always say that when hard work and opportunity meets equals success. And I think that with opportunity, there's a lot of luck in that. It's
Absolutely.
seeing what doors to walk through, and being able to walk through those right doors instead of the wrong doors, and not being scared to walk through those doors to see what that opportunity is. And that's really, you make your own luck when you have the faith to surround yourself with the right people. So I love what you're saying. Faith, surrounding yourself with the right people that help you make the right decisions instead of the wrong decisions, and show you the right way instead of the wrong way. And then also luck, being at the right places at the right times, and having that path, and knowing that you have the faith in yourself and the confidence. I think that a lot of time women especially are missing that confidence level.
Well, and that's hard to keep sometimes in any situation, whether you're, I guess, male or female. But since we're both female, I guess I can say it. Just recently on the panel where we talked about it, I've never really seen myself in a situation of, am I against a male or a female? I've always just looked at it. Do I know more than what they do, or do they know more than what I do? What do I need to know what they know to get that opportunity? And sometimes you just have to look at it that way. You can't look at the obstacles.
Right.
And being a female in some cases could possibly be an obstacle. You have to create your own path. And like I said, going back to what really kind of falls into that third, you can never think that you're beyond learning something new. And once you reach that level, you're in a dangerous territory.
Right.
Because like I said, there is, every time I have a new employee when they're fairly new to mortgage, there are several things that I tell them, but that's one of the things I really focus on is never think you have arrived, because the minute that you do, you're going to stumble and fall. So you've got to be always willing to be open, and open to learning, open to new ways, because the worst and most dangerous statement is, we've always done it that way.
Yeah.
Always done it that way. It's not broken, let's not fix it. And I've been guilty of that myself, many years. I'd be like, hey, it's working. Why do we want to really just break it down and redo it? But you have to know that there's always a better way. It may not be your exact way, but if you're getting to the same end goal, then what does it really matter if somebody's taking you there differently? Because it could make it better than what you thought it was with your original path.
Yeah, one of my peers in a group that I'm in, she has everyone on her team keep a pad of paper, and when they feel like there could be something done better or differently to make the system and process better, they write it down, and then they have a meeting once a week to see what people have come up with, so that they can constantly be honing their skill, honing what they're doing, so that it makes it a better customer experience, but also a better operational experience.
Right.
To
Great
make
idea.
things, quicker, faster, better. And sometimes being different, doing things differently can make it faster, better, and smoother. So I definitely agree with that. And I totally agree with knowledge is power, and you can never stop learning. You can never, stop listening to a podcast. I learn something new every time I listen to a podcast of my peers. Every single time I'm able to educate myself. You learn something every single day. And I absolutely love that about this industry. So in this business, Tammie, you've done so much. Who do you admire in this business or outside of this business?
Oh, that's a tough one. I should have had that one ahead of time so I could think.
I know.
There's so many people.
So many people.
There are. So it's kind of hard to really, focus on one. I think there's a lot of people that do so much good work in our industry and even outside of the industry. And wow, so I would really, that's something I've never really thought about deeply. I'm going to, obviously, the minute that we
You'll
end this
be
call.
like, oh, that person I admire. So that's okay. You did not get the questions, and that's okay. But I also like being spontaneous too, because I think that that's also important. So if you think about it before we finish our chat, tell me you remember you thought of that. So that's fine. If you had to be in a different profession besides mortgage, what would make your heart sing just as much?
If you had asked me this question probably 20 years ago, I would have said I'll go back to fashion merchandising, because
Right.
that was, it's kind of what I always grew up wanting to do, and went to school to do it and thought that I would love it. But obviously, that was not the path that I was supposed to go down. I would probably do a lot of volunteer work. You know, People would probably find this really strange coming from me, but through church affiliations, I have, been in prison ministries. I have gone and done, work in uh, Honduras and places like that. And it's been a while, because this fast-paced business makes it difficult to stay that connected on both sides. And I feel very guilty that I haven't given more of that. But I would say helping those that don't have the ability to either help themselves, or don't have the outlets, or don't know how, and community involvement with those who are very underserved. We, through Mortgage Bankers Association last year, I named um, our charity giving, which we do every year. Everybody has a new one. Was in conjunction with the Metro Nashville Police, and it is a organization they've had for quite some time. They have a separate organization, and they do a really good job of vetting those people that either through psychiatrists or schools or doctors that really don't have the ability to go to that next level, and they don't have the means of which to buy for their children like we do for Christmas and things of that nature, whether it's at a holiday or throughout the year. And so I kind of honed in on that, and I will tell you, it did bring back a lot of juices for me, I guess. That's probably not the right word to
Yeah.
use. But I would say getting up on Christmas morning at 4 a.m., not to go in the living room to see my own children or grandchildren open up gifts that I thought nothing about buying, nothing about swiping a card and grabbing. And I'm very fortunate. It's nothing that I've done. Again, I'm very blessed. But to be able to line up in downtown Nashville of probably 300 cars of people who are giving of their Christmas morning, having the police officers and that group and that community load up your vehicles to actually take and deliver to people who are completely surprised when they open up the door, and literally have children cry because you brought in a bicycle that they never thought they would get. Um, that just puts things in perspective for you. You don't have a clue. Like, I'm in Nashville, of course, and drive back to Alabama. We normally go the day before Christmas Eve. When I started doing that community work with them, my family, of course, was like, "What do you mean you're not going to be here for Christmas Eve?" And what do that kind of thing. And I was like, "Well, I have to, because I've asked everybody else to do it. I can't not
Right.
show up."
Totally.
They were understanding, but yet, I was messing up our family. So anyway, you leave that and you go to your family, and the perspective that it brings to who you are and what you have to give, and the expectation that those who are more gifted and who have more should also give more.
Yeah, I love
And I think that's something that I would really focus on, and hope that I would be able to financially to do that if I could never do mortgage.
it.
That was
Right.
probably a longer answer than you wanted. So
No,
I'm
no,
gonna,
no. I love that. I had my son in with his high school he was on the golf team. They every year collected donations, and gift cards is what they did the most of for the less fortunate families of Philadelphia. And he would go in with the team and the coaches, and they delivered to like the poverty areas of Philadelphia, which were pretty harsh. I'm sure the same in Nashville. And it was an eye-opening experience for him. And he has thought about it ever since. And he did that for many years. And I thought that was something that was so important for him to learn, because we are super fortunate, especially us in the mortgage industry. We definitely have our peaks and valleys, but Even the valleys are okay, and people who are less fortunate. So that is a great thing. So that you were saying, and it's a great profession to be in, to give back. So I love that. What is in the future for Tammie?
Well, probably the same thing that is for everybody right now, just trying to keep our head above water and get through this lovely little lull that we have in the mortgage business. But
How are you guys right now keeping the right mindset to have that positive energy?
well, and I was actually with TMC on the rundown this past Friday, and we kind of talked a little bit in that same realm. I would say that being able to show our value, because there's a shakedown. There's doors closing every day. There's good people that probably got in the business but realized it wasn't for them, and it took the doors closing for them to move on. I think focusing on the value of a mortgage professional. It's not, and nothing against Rocket Mortgage, but it's so much better to have that face than it is just to be online and not have the expertise of somebody really walking you through, whether that's at 7:30, 8 o'clock on a Friday night or 7 a.m. on a Saturday morning. So I think, to keep us together, and next for us is just really trying to continue to show our value, educate ourselves so that we have that value add to our consumers and our customers. And hopefully it just, we ride right on through this one. We'll look back and the same way we did for 2008 and go, wow, it was rough, but we made it. So what's next for Tammie is really just trying to make it through the day and make sure that we keep our team motivated and teaching them how to show their value, whether they're external to the customers or behind the scenes, because everybody does have a value and it takes all of us to make it work. It's not all about an originator. It's not all about the deliverer or the capital markets. It's a team effort, and there's value to every position that makes that team move and groove. So what's next for me is just, like I said, trying to make sure that we keep everybody at that level and keep them as positive as we can.
Yeah, I love that also. And I try to motivate my own team, and saying to talk about value is super important. We can provide so much value to our referral partners, so much value to our borrowers every single day. And if we're just getting that information out about how we can help people, people need our help. They always need our help. And it is better to do it face to face, or do it, voice to voice or digital to digital, than it actually is pushing a couple buttons, because no one really understands how intricate each and different every single mortgage is. And
Right.
it's really talking to people to say, let me see how I can help you. Tell me your story. Tell me what you're looking at.
Right.
And to let me see if I can help you. I think I've said that 2 times already today. And, we're 6 hours into the day. So I might have said it 3, actually. So I totally agree with you on that. You do an amazing job for your team. You did an amazing job on that TMC panel, and I'm so thankful and blessed that I was able to get to know you and have you here. I look forward to hopefully seeing you sometime soon, and I appreciate you being on Grab Your Keys with me.
Thank you so much. It was an honor to be on here, and it was more my pleasure to meet you, I can assure you. And you're doing a great job with Grab Your Keys. Thank you for allowing me to be on, and hopefully somebody will listen.
I'm sure somebody will listen. So everyone, thank you so much for listening to Grab Your Keys. And remember, like and share and tell your friends. And in addition to that, we have some amazing guests coming on. We're booked for the rest of the year. But if you know somebody that we should chat with, definitely get in touch with us, because we love to talk to people that we don't know, so we can learn some more things. And we're looking forward to seeing you next time on Grab Your Keys.